I don't really answer questions, or I don't really ask questions in class, but if I do, yeah, I usually read the book, but if I do have questions, I'll usually just go to the teacher, like, individually if I need help,
So, like, do you ask questions frequently? Like, how many questions do you have for each class average?
Not many. I don't ask a lot of questions. I try and figure stuff out on my own. I guess I'm kind of stubborn.
So you think reading is like better than asking questions if you don't know?
Yeah, I think,
if you don't know something, you just go to the book and read it?
usually if I don't know something, if I go into the book, and I'll usually find it.
I would say that I'm both. I guess it depends on the class. Like, if I'm gonna speak up, like, some classes I know the material better, so then I would answer the question or speak up in class, but then sometimes when I'm confused, I wouldn't say anything.
Like, you have more questions during science class, or
or like math. A lot of times I am not as comfortable with math as I am with English or something, so I would ask more questions.
So you would never keep question? Right?
Sorry, what?
You would never keep question and don't ask questions, right? So if you have a question, you will go to the teacher.
Right, I guess I would. Yeah. I guess I speak up in classes that I don't know, I ask questions, and then in classes that I do know the information is when I'd answer the questions.
Ask that many questions in class because usually the material isn't hard to understand, it's just memorization. Is a lot of my classes usually.
So you don't have so many questions?
Not usually. No. I mean, if I take a class on my own, right now I have to study for a competition, and I literally just go back through and just read it over and over again because there's not really a teacher to teach me, and so I usually just reread things.
Also, I mean, read books to learn something that teachers do not.
Yeah, I guess I'm independent. I just like to read textbooks, I guess. Or sometimes I take notes if there's a lot of information. I just take notes.
So you never have any questions to come up with?
I do ask some questions during class, hypothetical questions, I guess, that don't always pertain to what we're actually learning, but that go further.
Is that during science class or math class or other?
Definitely not during math class, but I mean sometimes during science class.
It depends on in which class I'm in. If it's biology, my favorite subject, then I'm more active in class. But if it's American literature, I don't really know everything about it. And I'm not saying that I know everything about biology, but I think it's easier, so it's easier to learn. But harder classes, I'm more silent, so it depends on which class I'm in.
You like asking questions? Ask teachers questions?
Nah, usually I don't ask questions during class.
Is that because you don't have any question, or?
Depends on which class. Some classes you just don't have any questions, and then some classes I know it's kind of scary, I guess, to answer.
So you keep the question?
Yeah.
Never ask?
Yeah. I ask after class more. If it's something that only affects me, or a question I only have that isn't for entire class, which it's usually isn't, then I ask the teacher after school. Or then after class.
I think I am both, because in class I really take advantage of asking the teacher questions. And I think that's a much more personal way, much more informative way in some cases to learn about the material, have someone else explain it to you. So asking questions is always really good because you get to learn directly from someone else and versus a book. But I also feel like I'm a reading person because reading material just puts it out straightforward, and it's usually for me simple to understand, and so that's really helpful too. It's always good to get different perspectives, on a topic. So if there's like one topic you feel uncomfortable about, reading a book or asking a friend or a teacher questions should help clear up any ambiguity. And so I think both of those type of methods really help.
I usually ask a lot of questions during class, especially if I don't understand something. But like usually at home, like if I'm doing homework and I don't understand a problem, then I'll refer back to the textbook, and if I can't find the answer, I'll just ask the question the next day in class.
So how many questions do you have for each class average?
I don't know, like it depends if I understand the subject it depends if I understand what we're learning about at the moment.
So do you like asking questions?
Yeah, I guess. I think I understand like if a teacher like explains it to me better than just reading a textbook by myself.
So you think like asking questions are more helpful? Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of being active, right, during class?
Yeah, I would say so. I think mainly like my parents, and like for me, like I would like to get into like a pretty good college, like U of M or something like that. And then obviously to get into a good college, you have to maintain a good grade. But like for like subjects I'm interested in, like math and science, I usually push myself like hard anyways because I think it's really interesting.
So why do you think going to a good college is important to you?
I mean, it's kind of like it's like a concept that your parents like kind of push into your head when you're little. So like you need to get into a good college. I mean, like it's kind of for myself too. Like I don't know.
For you.
Like I guess it's just the way like everyone's trained to think, and then like everyone wants to get into a good college. So it's like when you get into a good college, you feel like really good about yourself.
So do you ever think about get a good job, get a better job?
Yeah, like that's like of course that's what follows after like getting into a good college, because then like a company will look and they'll be like, oh, you graduated from this college, or like you graduated from that college, and then usually you'll just get like a better chance of getting the job.
Probably just to get a good grade, because I want to keep up my grade point and just finish strong with the senior year and stuff. Like I already made it into college, but I want to just keep up my grades. That's my reason.
What else?
What else?
Do you have like to push you hard to study?
I don't know, like my parents expect it from me. And then a lot of my friends have good grades, so I'm always trying to keep up with all of them.
A couple of reasons. One reason is I've always started like that ever since I can remember elementary school. I always wanted to be a good student, and also wanted to take advantage of school. And I also feel that I feel grateful that I have the ability to be in school and to learn all these new things every day. And then another reason is I'm trying to prepare for the future. I really want to go to medical school after I graduate from college, and I want to become a doctor. And I know that getting good grades is very competitive. It's a good thing, and getting into college and getting into medical college, those are all very competitive things. So good grades are a must. So I try to keep my grades as high as possible. But I also just like the feeling of knowing this knowledge and just learning from it, learning new things every day, whatever subject that's in. And I think that really helps me build as a person. It helps me actually will help me eventually to contribute something to society one day.
If it's a good teacher and if it's a subject that I like.
Good teacher?
Yeah, like a teacher that uses different way of teaching you stuff, and then you really can see the teacher in yours, like teaching you the things.
Anything else? Make you to study hard and
My parents.
they push you?
Yeah, of course. And then like if you want to like come for in life, you have to study. So yeah.
So you mean for the job, right? In the future?
Yeah, job, occupation, and like which school you go into, and then you have to use the grades to get into a good school, and then a good school leads to a good job.
I feel like Asians, not really myself, but most Asians, usually read like the textbook more. And like, I feel like American students ask questions during class more often, but it kind of varies with like different types of personalities. So it's not really, I guess it's a mix.
So do you think like all Asians still have like the same academic achievement with American students?
Wait, what did you say?
Academic achievements?
I think it really depends on your parents actually, because I know like some of my like American friends, like they do really well in school, and I feel like their parents like trained them when they were young to like want to like do like better. But like, and then some people are more focused on like sports, so it's like they spend more time doing like sports instead of like concentrating on academics.
From your perspective, do you think like is there any difference between Asian student and American student?
Well, as an American student, we all have heard the stereotypes of how different cultures perceive studying. Excuse me. Asian stereotype, obviously here at least, is Asians study harder and they're very diligent students, more so than Americans. And I'm sorry, could you repeat the question again? I can't.
Difference between Asian students.
Oh, a difference. Okay.
Yeah.
I think typically there is, even if it's an Asian student who was born in America or brought up, I still think just in the environment they are at home, their culture and their tradition is a little more strict in general than what you would see here in normal American, perhaps like Caucasian home. But I don't want to say that in general because I know that there are always exceptions. I mean, this isn't a general rule. There are definitely people, Caucasian people, American people of any race that are also very diligent, intelligent, and work hard. So I don't think it's definitely one of the most incorrect stereotypes because I've seen many exceptions to both sides of that. So I think it all depends on the person, and I think no matter what race you are, wherever you come from, no matter what, you have the ability to decide whether you want to pursue a goal and you want to learn. And I think that's the biggest part, is you have to be determined.
This video is directed by Xuan Li, Jack